qi permeates everything in the universe. Now, during my studies since then, I have 2 doctorates in this field now. Doctor of Acupuncture and Doctor of Oriental Medicine. And during this time, throughout these years of over 30 years of being a student and clinician, I have come to have a deeper understanding about what this qi and ki means, both from a medical standpoint and as from a martial art viewpoint. Having the opportunity to study Western medicine and Western physics, quantum physics in particular. Quantum physics is very interesting because it is much more closer to the traditional concepts of qi and ki in the universe. We say that from nothing, from wu, nothing. In Chinese we say wu, or the void. In Japan they say mu. But it's the same thing. Japanese concepts and theories come from China in the 7th century AD. Anyway, the story is this. At the beginning of it all, there was nothing. They called this the void, the wu. And this wu was not just nothing. It was the potential for something in nothing. And stirred the grand movement. The first movement of this became the Tai Chi. Now, the Tai Chi we hear often, right? But it is this one that has 2 opposites. And this 2 opposites is a constant motion. Now, in Western physics, it's very similar to that. Whether from a physics standpoint or from even a religious standpoint, from nothing to something, the Big Bang theory or the creationist theory, they're all very similar in that respect, that this creation created a force. And in quantum physics we say that this force has a property. And whether it be light, gravity, or strong and weak nuclear energy, these are the 4 forces of the universe that's recognized. One thing that is common throughout all of these forces is that it has a property of positive and negative. It's the same thing as the ancient Chinese had stated over 4,000 years ago in the Neolithic period of the Yellow Emperor. That this negative and positive property is the yin and yang. Now, you have the 4 forces, right? Light, gravity. In light, you have electromagnetic energy. And you have gravity. You have strong and weak force. We are living in all of these things. And to this day, we don't have what they call a grand unification theory. There's a mad race within the world of physics to try to explain all these 4 forces into one single theory. That's why they call it the grand unification theory, or GUT in short. Yet, the ancient ones are the only ones that can have this oneness theory. We have light, we have sun, we have the earth with gravity. Within atoms, we have strong and weak force. And yet, we can't explain it. Only the ancient ones can explain this. But it's very interesting in this regard, the similarities here. And it's within this property of opposites that symmetry is the stabilizing factor. You must have symmetry. And the symmetry is not a static force. It is in constant movement. It's like the universe or the galaxy, right? Everything we know that exists is bound together by this world. Everything. If this movement stops, everything stops. Light, gravity, strong and weak force, everything stops. So this movement is the source of it all. And this movement, which has this property of negative and positive, it's just like the ancient ones said. In the yin and yang symbol, looks like two fishes chasing each other's tail, with a little dot of the opposite color. What does that mean? It means that there's one, and within one, there's a property of opposites. And that property of opposites has a beginning force and a climbing force. And then it feeds and creates the basis for the other's existence. But no one side is pure, because within that side also has an opposite element. And this is what pushes, what moves, and what contributes to this continual movement here. All explained in one symbol. It's the most beautiful symbol, I feel, that exists. Because it explains everything without saying anything. It's like Lao Tzu says, you cannot, once you try to explain truth, it is no longer truth. So when you explain truth, when you talk, you no longer receive. When you talk, it is very similar to like a walkie-talkie. You press that button on the walkie-talkie and you can transmit. But in that transmission, there's no reception. This is what he meant. If you talk, there's no more reception. So how can you now be connected to the truth? The truth is experienced. The truth is sensed. Sensory perception. This is the key to Mushin. In China, they say Wu Wei Zi. Wu Wei Zi. In Japan, they say Mushin. Mushin. Shin is heart, mind, awareness, spirit, all congealed into one energetic